Hey, I just came to Parliament House to give you this groundbreaking news. You ready for this? Labor just had a huge victory in Australia. Has BBC told you that yet? No. No, I've just got a show on in Canberra and that's why I'm here. But I've got a bunch of other tickets available in Queensland for the next week. In the meantime, however, we thought it would be a very, very good backdrop to celebrate while we've got Parliament House on the left here, seeing as Chairman Albo just had a resounding victory. And frankly, I'm not even sure if that was a fair election, to be honest. But, we'll talk about that another time. In the meantime, I'm sure that you've heard all the stats so far. This is the first government in Australian history to increase its margin in the next election. Holy hell, and what a margin it is. We're getting to the point that Labor almost has nearly 2/3 of all seats in the lower house. They have just demolished everyone. The rest of it is just this tiny little slither in the corner, vying it out for the little scraps over there. It is going to be grim for every other party except Labor in this term, and I couldn't be happier for it. Well done, Australia. They can sit there and say all they like, oh, well, if you look at this seat here, we had an unexpected rise. Guys, in summary, Labor's primary increase. The press can say all they like that everyone's getting disillusioned by the majors. I think everyone's just getting disillusioned with the Liberal Party, and they're all just breaking off into their own little narcissistic embodiments of the Liberal Party. Which, if you are the Liberal Party, what the hell do you do from here to rebuild? You've got no talent. You've got no seats, which means that you've certainly got no resources. So good one on letting pass through the This is just incredible. Peter Dutton, because he was scared of the Teals, agreed to donations reform, thinking that in this term, we'll keep our primary. Nah, you've got less money for the next one. You've also got a bunch of DERs vying for top job now. I mean, when you have a choice between Susan Lee and Angus Taylor, talk about a rock and a hard place. And I think we all know who the rock is. Really what you're looking at now is pretty much reverse Howard. That's what Albo has become. He has become opposite land John Howard, and well may he reign. Because I'm pretty sure they're locked in for a third term after that. It is going to be really hard to erode a majority in one term, even if they do have the incredible brain foresight of Angus Taylor leading the way. That's going to be difficult. The next term after that is probably going to be difficult. Look, I know that I'm bad at predicting results, but right now, I'm calling it 4 terms for Labor. And now we're not going to get it. So, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Australia. But this is incredible. Like, you really don't understand how much John Howard fundamentally changed the soul of this country. Why did he do that? Because he had that long period in power so he could actually affect things instead of just finickingly we've got to reverse this, we've got to reverse that. No, this gives them vision. This gives them trajectory. This is a very exciting win. If you're the Liberals, on the other hand, I feel sorry for you at this point. Like, I wanted you to lose. I didn't want you to lose that bad. That is a really humiliating loss, especially because, guys, they have 2 Greens parties now. They have the Teals and they have One Nation nibbing on either side. And the worst thing for them is, this is what they've clearly forgotten. The elite of this country, the reason that the Liberal Party exists, if you go back and you look at Robert Menzies founding it, he summed it up perfectly clear. The entire point of the Liberal Party is to keep the Labor Party out. And how do you keep the Labor Party out? Well, ironically, the elite class has to unionise, pool all their resources together, and put all their petty differences aside. That's the grand vision of the Liberal Party. It's just like, all right, we're a broad tent for all the different views of the cultural elite, those on the coast and those that are the prairie owners and all of that. Put it all aside. I know you like cowboy hats and I know you like racing hats, but let's get down to business and carve this country up for business. That has always been the thing that has kept the Liberal Party together. I think in the age of social media, narcissism has affected not just us, but them as well. Because you see that Gina Reinhardt is this merciless Twitter addict sitting there being like, Peter Dutton wasn't doing a Trump impression good enough. Pauline Hanson's got orange hair, so I'm going to put my money behind. She looks more like Trump anyway. So she's just moved to there. Then you've got Simon Holmes of court being like, I got kicked out of a fundraiser once because I was being an arse. I'll make my own Liberal Party. And so, like, they're getting pulled in 2 different directions while it's just this little blob in the centre of senior citizens that are sitting there being like, I remember Menzies, I remember the vision. And that's all that's there now. It is just senior citizens that remember what the Liberal Party is supposed to be. No one else seems to anymore. Everybody else just thinks, oh, I'll just recreate the Liberal Party in my own image. Well, keep doing it, guys. It's working out really well for us. I'm super happy about it. An increased primary for the Labor Party. The Liberal Party just diving into the ground. All the minor parties as well. No one had a good day except Labor. It is phenomenal. We're looking in the Senate of them picking up a third seat in nearly every state. This is a total wipeout for everyone else. Absolute tidal wave. The other thing that you also have to remember is, when we're talking about talent, the young generation that's getting cropped up, you think about the talent of the Labor Party currently, yeah? You look at the front bench, there's 5 or 6 people there that could easily be Prime Minister. If Albo carked it tomorrow, you could replace him with Bowen, you could replace him with Miles, you could replace him with Penny Wong, any of them. They could just take it immediately, they're competent enough to do it. The Liberal Party doesn't have enough talent in it for an opposition leader now. Like, Dutton was the best they had. Think about that. Dutton, who just led to a historic defeat. That was their best option. And now, even if they wanted to bring him back, they can't because he lost his seat, which brings us to the next point, which is that Albo just crushed 2, count them, 2 major party leaders. One election, bam! You just thought it couldn't get any better, and then, oh, Bant loses his seat, 10-point loss. Oh man, the whole joke, I just kept getting text after text after text throughout this whole election. How hard are you coming right now? And I was like, yes, I am pretty bone dry. But then I just had to edge myself for the next 3 days. It looks like he's gonna lose it. He's gonna lose. Oh my God. Oh, it's too much nutting. You might even get tired of nutting. I did. I can't take it anymore. Mr. President, stop letting Australia win so much.
Max Chandler Mother.
God as well, are you kidding me? They might not even have a single seat in the lower house. Not one. They can sit there and they came up with all these cope consolations. You should have seen it on Twitter. The amount of meltdowns, the amount of people filming, crying themselves as they suddenly realise, oh, inner city Melbourne isn't even reflective of Melbourne anymore, let alone wide Australia. It's incredible how they're just trying to recreate history in their heads, sitting there the whole time. Have you seen how many of these condescending TikToks they put out constantly, every election? The problem is that people just don't understand how preferences work. If they knew how preferences work, we'd have like 100% of the seats, guys. So they just keep explaining what everyone knows. That, did you know that you can put like people and then like if they don't get this seat, then the next person gets this seat? Yeah, you know when I learned that? In year 6. Stop saying it. The reason people aren't voting for you is because the vast majority of the population sees you for what you are, which is a massive con. You are a vote siphoning machine designed to prop up a bunch of self-absorbed senators. That's your entire movement in a nutshell. And I think that that has been well and truly exposed by them blocking housing in Parliament. I honestly think that this is exactly what you get when you play obstructionist games. You get obstructionist prizes. And blocking shit, people started to realise you're playing parliamentary games to keep DV victims homeless. That's what you're doing. And you're the quote-unquote moral party. They're a scam. They've always just preyed off of basically people that have no idea how government works. The ignorance of the electorate, really. But the thing is, if we keep educating the electorate and saying, yes, things are happening, no, they don't happen as fast as you think they do, but this is the correct way forward, this is how policy actually works in the real world, they will just become more and more relevant. And to anybody that said that they switched their vote in the last election from the Greens to Labor, can I just say thank you? And I think that the reason that you did that, honestly, is because you can only play the game of everything shit when the government actually is shit. It's very hard to make the case when you actually do have a competent government in power. So they're collapsing. The big problem for the Greens now is if they continue to be obstructionist, well, they're just going to keep diminishing in vote. If they just sit there and actually, do what people think the Greens do, which is sit there and negotiate with the Labor Party, well, they won't have much to claim and crow about, will they? Really, what their big accomplishments that they were taking to the electorate was, we blocked a lot of shit. That's really what they were bragging about. And now, it's kind of just they're in this grey zone of like, oh, actually, we are pretty redundant. And I think that will continue to be seen by the electorate as the Albanese government rolls into its second term, because this is something that you see with Labor governments progressively. especially when they have like your 10-year stints like they did in Queensland. The first term is always them just cleaning up Liberals' mess, which is true. It's like the government has been disabled after 10 years of them ripping it apart. You have to rebuild that. Then the next term, things start moving in the right direction. The third term, you start seeing very exciting things being rolled out, you know? This is what happens when you have a competent government in charge. The government actually starts working again, and it starts moving the country in an exciting direction. I think probably about 7% of the 12% that vote for the Greens, they are probably good people. And some, I assume, are good people. I think 5% of them are rabid psychos that good, have your own little protest freak out in Parliament. That's fine. But I think that they have done a very good job in convincing about 7% of the electorate that we actually really care about the environment. And if all you do is look at their banner like I did when I was 18, for instance, yes, that's what you would think. They say they care about the environment. That's as far as I look into it. They're the Environment Party. But then when you look into it, you realize these guys are the reason that we will never, ever have a price on carbon in this country, ever. They completely ruined that. This is the quote-unquote Environmental Party's grand legacy. It is a scam. So I'm just saying to anybody out there that feels disillusioned about the loss, guys, the Labor Party is your home. That is your true home. That is the party of getting things done in this country. That is the party of competent governors. That is the party of people that actually care, that are truly educated. The thing is, you just have to understand, the reason that both Max Chandler-Mather and Adam Bandt were in the Greens originally is because they knew that they weren't talented enough to be in the Labor Party. That's it. And they realised that they could con enough of the electorate to get a seat. And chickens have come home to roost. The entire campaign is basically just quote-unquote educating people on how preferences work. This is how deluded they are. They seriously think that if people knew something that everybody already knows, then they would be in government. They seriously think that. As soon as they lose their seats, you go look at the concession speeches over and over again, they're having a cry about preferences. They were in because of Labor and Liberal preferences last time. Now they're not in because of Labor and Liberal preferences. The system needs to change. Have you ever noticed this about the Greens? If they have a win, the system's fine. If they have a lose, the system needs to change and it's corrupt and it's unfair and it's rigged. It's pathetic. They are children. You should just go online. In fact, we might even just do a review of Liberals and Greens having a tantrum because it is just them over and over again saying, no, it's the electorate that's wrong. They are seriously saying, let's go into the next election and do exactly what we did to lose this election. Again. Well, good. I'm glad. I hope that continues. Maybe we won't do the review. Generally, isn't this the first time since 2007 that you've actually felt happy about an election? I swear it isn't just me. Everybody that I walk past, that I talk to, they all say, oh, wasn't this election result great? It's so weird. The same people that were sitting there saying, oh, we got to vote independents and Greens to keep the bastards honest. They're as over the moon as I am about a majority Labor government. I don't understand how their heads work, but everybody seems to be as elated as when Kevin Rudd had his thumping majority in 2007. And then in 2010, Gillard felt dirty, didn't it? And then Jesus Christ, let's not remember that next decade. And then Albo winning in 2022, you thought, Jesus, fuck, he just scraped through on that. And this was after ScoMo left the country to burn. Now we're here. I mean, are you tired of winning? Already, they haven't even started the term, but I'm tired of winning. Hey, we've got some big videos coming out, so make sure that you subscribe. These have all just been on the back burner because of the election. We had to just relentlessly pop those out. And I think that we deserve a reward, thank you. So make sure that you sign up to our Patreon because, man, boy, did the team ever pull out all stops for that. Oh, and also, sorry, I've just got to say this. To all the viewers out there that talk to their friends and family, that went to their workplaces, that went to their footy teams and they convinced them to vote Labor, this is your victory. I truly believe that. The Labor Party only wins when families have discussions at dinner tables. And look at what you accomplished. Well done.
Wait a sec, we're not done. No comment on the chemtrails.
Holy hell, he's right.
The real issues.